The content you are about to hear may be graphic.
Alright everybody, I realized yesterday that I deleted part of James Bulger's video. So part 2 we're going to have to redo.
She's a dork.
So hopefully we begin this at the right spot. I kind of tried to re-watch the end of our last video to get to the last spot, so... Alright, on the 14th of March 2008, an appeal to set up a Red Balloon Learner Center in Merseyside in memory of James Bulger was launched by Denise Fergus, his mother, and Esther Ranson.
Apparently she can't talk today.
Can I ever talk, you guys? No.
Where? This one? A memorial garden in Bulger's memory was created in Sacred Heart Primary School in his hometown of Kirkby, the school he would have been expected to attend had he not been murdered.
Guess we read this all yesterday.
Read this all? We read this all. We read this all.
2010, a call was made by England's Children's Commissioner Maggie Atkins to raise the age of criminal responsibility from 10 to 12.
She said that the killers of James Bulger should have undergone programs to help them turn their lives around rather than being prosecuted. The Ministry of Justice rejected the call, saying that children over the age of 10 knew the difference between bad behavior and serious wrongdoing. I think you should be able to get in trouble for younger, because if you understand this has consequences and you kill someone.
In April 2010, a 19-year-old man from the Isle of Man was given a 3-month suspended prison sentence for falsely claiming in a Facebook message that one of his former colleagues was Robert Thompson.
In passing sentence, Deputy High Bailiff Alistair Montgomery said that the teenager had put that person at significant risk of serious harm and in a perilous position by making the allegation.
Good. And
because it could have been him.
In March 2012, a 26-year-old man from Chorley, Lancaster was arrested after... What the hell?
I think it goes to this one.
I'm missing it.
Nope. Allegedly setting up a Facebook group.
Oh.
Yeah. After allegedly setting up a Facebook group.
With the title, What Happened to Jamie Bulger Was Fucking Hilarious. The man's computer was seized for further investigations.
That's actually more than...
Well, I thought that, being blunt.
On February 25th, 2013, the Attorney General's office announced that it was instituting contempt of court proceedings against several people who had allegedly published photographs online showing Thompson or Venables as adults.
A spokesman commented, there are many different images circulating online claiming to be of Venables or Thompson. Potentially innocent individuals may be wrongly identified as being one of the two men and placed in danger. The order and its enforcement is therefore intended to protect not only Venables and Thompson, but also those members of the public who have been incorrectly identified as being one of the two men.
If I didn't know they were doing this, I'd have fixed my dentures. On April 26, 2013, 2 men received suspended jail sentences of 9 months after admitting to contempt of court by publishing photographs which they claimed to be Venables and Thompson on Facebook and Twitter.
The posts were seen by 24,000 people, according to BBC legal correspondents. Wait, I make sure it's still going. Cleve Coleman, the purpose of the prosecution was to ensure that the public was aware that internet users were also subject to the law of contempt.
That's Clive, by the way. Not Cleve.
Clive.
On November 27, 2013, a man from Liverpool received a 14-month sentence, suspended prison sentence for posting images on Twitter claiming to show Venable.
On July 14, 2016, a woman from Margate in Kent was jailed for 3 years after sending Twitter messages to Bulger's mother in which she posed as one of his killers and his ghost. The sentence was reduced to 2.5 years on appeal.
She should have gotten more. That's fucked up.
To pretend to be poor James. That's messed up.
On October 25th, 2016, a man was jailed for 26 weeks for stalking Denise Fergus. He had previously received a police warning for stalking her in 2008.
Leave these poor people alone.
I know, right?
On January 31st, 2019, a man and a woman pleaded guilty to 8 contempt of court offenses at the High Court after they admitted posting photos on social media that they claimed identified Venables. Both received suspended prison sentences.
On March 13, 2019, actress Tina Malone was given an 8-month suspended prison sentence for posting Venables' identity on Facebook.
Shortly before his 2001 release, when age 17, Venables was alleged to have had sex with a woman who worked at the Red Bank Secure Unit, where he was held.
In April 2011, in the aftermath of his 2010 imprisonment, these allegations were outlined in a Sunday Times Magazine article written by David James Smith, who had been following the Bulger case since the 1993 trial, and again later in a BBC documentary titled John Venables, What Went Wrong. That's a lot of W's. The female staff member was accused of sexual misconduct and suspended. She never returned to work at Red Bank.
A spokesman for St. Helens Borough Council denied that the incident had been covered up, by saying all allegations were thoroughly investigated by an independent team on the orders of the Home Office and chaired by Arthur D. Frischling, a retired prison governor.
We're reading the exact same thing we read yesterday, too. Venables began living independently in March 2002. Like, I remember you reading the Frischling thing.
Sometime thereafter, he began a relationship with a woman who had a 5-year-old child. It was not known whether Venables had already begun downloading child pornography at the time of dating the woman. Wow. Though he denies having ever met the child. In 2005, when Venables was 23, his probation officer met another girlfriend of his, who was age 17. After a number of young girlfriends, it was presumed that Venables was having delayed adolescence. No, he's just a pedophile.
That's why he got that little kid at 2 years old. After a period of apparently reduced supervision, excuse me, Venables began excessively drinking, taking drugs, downloading child pornography, as well as visiting Merseyside, a breach of his license.
In 2008, a new probation officer noted that he spent a great deal of leisure time playing video games and on the internet. Yeah, looking at child porn.
Said the same thing yesterday. In September that year, Venables was arrested on suspicion of a fray. Following a fight outside a nightclub, he claimed he was acting in self-defense, and the charges were later dropped after he agreed to go on an alcohol awareness course. 3 months later, he was found to be in possession of cocaine. He was subjected to curfew. Curfew. That's all he got for possession of cocaine was curfew.
On 2 separate occasions, Venables revealed his true identity to a friend.
Well, that was dumb of him. On March 2nd, 2010, the Ministry of Justice revealed that John Venables had been returned to prison for an unspecified violation, probably porn, of the terms of his license of release.
The Justice Secretary, Jack Straw, stated that Venables had been returned to prison because of extremely serious allegations, and stated that he was unable to give further details of the reasons for John Venables' return to custody because it was not in the public interest to do so.
Child pornography. Excuse me.
Sorry, that seems to be a reason to tell people.
Yeah. On March 7th, Venables was returned to prison accused of child pornography.
Dun dun dun! Alright, Barnos Butler Sloss, the judge who made the decision to grant Venables anonymity in 2001, warned that he could be killed if his new identity was revealed.
Bulger's mother, Denise Fergus, said that she was angry that the parole board did not tell her that Venables had been returned to prison and called for his anonymity to be removed if he was charged with a crime.
Like child pornography.
especially child
A
pornography.
spokesman for the Ministry of Justice stated that there is a worldwide injunction against publication of either killer's location or a new identity.
We really need to figure out a better way to do that. It's dark as hell. Venables returned to prison revived a false claim that a man from Fleetwood, Lancashire, was John Venables. The claim was reported and dismissed in September 2005, but reappeared in March 2010 when it was circulated widely via SMS messages and Facebook.
Chief Inspector Tracy O'Gara of Lancaster Constabulary stated an individual who was targeted 4.5 years ago was not John Venables, and now he has left the area.
I think somehow we got mixed up. On June 21st, 2010, Venables was charged with possession and distribution of indecent images of children. It was alleged that he had downloaded 57 indecent images of children over a 12-month period, February 2010, and allowed other people to access the files through a peer-to-peer network. Somebody's calling you.
It's 1-800 number. Venables faced 2 charges under the Protection of Children Act 1978 of 23rd of July 2010. Venables appeared at court hearing at the Old Bailey's via a video link visible only to the judge hearing the case. He pleaded guilty to the charges of downloading and distributing child pornography and was given a sentence of 2 years imprisonment.
That's bullshit. 2 years. At the court hearing, it emerged that Venables had posed in online chat rooms as 35-year-old Donnie Smith, a married woman from Liverpool who boasted about abusing her 8-year-old daughter in the hope of obtaining further child pornography. Venables had contacted his probation officer in February 2010, fearing that his new identity had been compromised at his place of work.
I wonder why. When the officer arrived at his flat, Venables was attempting to remove or destroy the hard drive of his computer with a knife and a tin opener.
I think he should, if I was going to call my probation officer and say something like that, I would have tried to destroy it sooner.
Right?
Just
Before
saying.
you call them?
Like, maybe before you call, because what the fuck. The officer's suspicions were aroused and the computer was taken away for examination, leading to the discovery of more child pornography, which included children as young as 2 being raped by adults and penetrative rape of 7 or 8-year-olds.
Graphic.
Ridiculous. This shit is graphic.
The judge, Mr. Justice Bean, ruled that Venables' new identity could not be revealed, but the media was allowed to report that he had been living in Cheshire at the time of his arrest.
Bean! The High Court also heard that Venables had been arrested on suspicion of a fray in September 2008, following a drunken street fight with another man.
Later that same year, he was cautioned for possession of cocaine.
Again?
Well, he likes his child porn and cocaine.
That's crazy. In November of 2010, a review of the National Probation Service handling of the case by Sir David Omond found that probation officers could not have prevented Venables from downloading child pornography. Bullshit. Bullshit. That's bullshit.
Harry Fletcher, the Assistant General Secretary of the National Association of Probation Officers, commented that only 24-hour surveillance would have prevented Venable from downloading the material.
Then that's what they should have done.
Or keep him in jail.
Or that.
And cut off his junk.
Venables was eligible for parole in July of 2011.
On June 27th of 2011, the parole board decided that Venables would remain in custody and that his parole would not be considered again for at least another year. At least.
How about another 25, maybe?
Until he dies.
On May 4th, 2011, it was reported that Venables would once again be given a new identity following what was described as a serious security breach, which revealed an identity that he had been using before his imprisonment in 2010. Details of the breach could not be reported for legal reasons. A spokesman for the Ministry of Justice commented, "Such a change of identity is extremely rare and granted only when the police assess that there is a clear and credible evidence of a sustained threat to the offender's life on release into the community." He shouldn't be released into the community.
The incident occurred after a man from Exeter posted photographs on a website devoted to identifying pedophiles, allegedly showing Venables as an adult and giving his name. Good job.
I applaud that man. In November 2011, it was reported that officials had decided that Venables would stay in prison for the foreseeable future, as he would be likely to reveal his true identity if released. The Ministry of Justice spokesman declined to comment on the reports.
On the 4th of July 2013, it was reported that the Parole Board for England and Wales had approved the release of Venables. That was only a couple of years.
On September 3rd, 2013, it was reported that Venables had been released from prison.
So he was in jail for just a couple of years, you guys.
Ridiculous.
On September 3rd, 2013, it was reported that Venable had been released from... Oh, you already read that one.
Yeah.
On November 23rd, 2017, it was reported that Venable had again been recalled to prison for possession of child abuse imagery. The Ministry of Justice declined to comment on this report.
Gee, I wonder what happened.
But we chop all of his goodies off and...
On January 5th, 2018, Venables was charged with unspecified offenses related to indecent images of children.
And...
Again.
On February 7th, 2018, Venables pleaded guilty to possession of indecent images of children for a second time. He pleaded, well, the other one was shot. He pleaded guilty to via video to 3 charges of making indecent images of children and 1 of possessing a pedophile manual.
Making indecent. Making. That means he was part of it. He was making them. He admitted being in possession of 392 Category A, 148 Category B, and 630 Category C child pornography images, and was sentenced to 3 years and 4 months in prison. The parole board will decide whether to release him at the end of his sentence. That means he got less time than somebody who's in possession of a small amount of marijuana in this country. That's ridiculous.
Alrighty. So, on March 4th, 2019, Bulger's father, Ralph, lost a legal challenge to lift the lifelong order protecting Venable's anonymity. Judge Sir Andrew McFarlane turned down the request, saying that the uniquely notorious nature of the case meant that there is a strong possibility, if not a probability, that if his identity were known, he would be pursued, resulting in grave and possibly fatal consequences.
Good.
Damn.
In late June 2019, it was reported that British officials had considered resettling Venables in either Canada, Australia, or New Zealand due to the high cost behind protecting his anonymity. British authorities had reportedly spent €65,000 in legal fees to keep Venables' identity a secret. That's $64,999 more than they should have spent.
In response to media coverage, New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern remarked that Venables would need an exemption under the Immigration Act and that he should not bother applying. So, now that we read this one again. Should kids who commit crimes be in jail for life? I think so.
Oh.
Although there's a few cases that they were influenced by other people or abused,
well, that's
different. They snapped.
That's different.
Can they be reintroduced into society?
Obviously not Venables.
Is Venables being a pedo now why he hurt James? Can a pedophile be rehabbed?
No.
Not unless you cut all the junk off. And I'm sorry, medical castration, like the
Chemical
chemical
castration.
castration, does not work.
If they stop taking, or if they find a way to stop taking it, they will just keep reoffending. It needs to be mutilated. There's no other way.
How young is too young for a life sentence or being charged as an adult? There was one that was being
I
charged
think
at
it
like
should just
5.
be on a case-to-case basis. If you've done something and you understand what you've done is wrong, then you should be...
Especially if you're a teenager. I'm sorry, but if you're a teenager, for sure.
Well, at 10 years old, he was understanding of what he was doing.
Okay, above 9.
No, I'm just saying, it could be as young as 5. You don't know.
That's true.
A lot of smart kids out there.
Any other true crimes or subject that you'd like me to talk about? Make a comment below. Thanks for subscribing, and thank you for the 38 subscribers.
Like and subscribe, like and subscribe.
Yes. And I'm going to get off here now and start for the next one.